Welcome to another episode of Anyone Can Cook. My name is Kate Dychangco-Anzani and I'm your host to talk to you about heirloom recipes. Heirloom recipes are recipes that are passed on from one generation to the other, and usually it stops at there. Many times it passes on and crosses around the generations, and I am a recipient of the recipe of the Hubad Adobo. And the Hubad Adobo is a dry adobo. Like most of you know, adobo is a staple in many Filipino homes, but our adobo is dry, cooked, boiled, gone through 4 different processes to arrive to an adobo and a pork cut that is so soft and flavorful that you might want to keep this for the next generation. So here we are in step 1 of our heirloom version of the adobo. I'll call it Mama Ching's adobo recipe. And I have with me a pork belly. And this pork belly, usually you get them in the grocery and they come in this size. And what I'd like to do first is score them. And scoring means creating lines so that when it goes through the cooking process, they have the presentation. And what I'm doing is just not giving it a deep cut, but scoring it that the skin has a line. And while we're at this, you take some salt and pepper and you just give it a nice rub, and then it goes in the oven. So after this, you take the salt and you give it a nice rub. And you put it in a baking tray, and the baking tray goes into the oven. That finishes our pork belly cut. Next, I'm going to go to the pork cut. So I asked from the butcher an adobo pork cut. And what I've done is that I've actually went and boiled them first, because what it is with pork, you need to cook it long and stew, or you go through the 3 different layers of cooking, which you'll find I actually boiled them down. So I already had pork that I've been cooking for an hour, and what it is, I want it super soft. If you take a look at that, it's as white and gray as it can be. And I've gone through the process of taking it and boiling it down in order for it to get soft. So there is my pork. And you can also choose to do this with larger cuts, which is why this has become the way it is. And I'm going to take a pan with oil, hot boiling oil, and it went through a first fry. So I've already gone through my second batch, and if you'll find, I'm just going to cross and exchange the boiling into the one that I've fried already. And if you look at that, this is like in the version of almost a kawali. So I'm going to take out the one that has gone through the frying, and what it is, it seals down the flavor. and it's gotten crispy. And while I'm at that, I'm going to take the boiled meat and it's going to go real quick fry. Stay away. Remember that oil and water don't mix, but because this came from our boiling point, it's definitely going to sizzle and you'd want a long tongue. What you'll need now, we're in the steps of making the adobo. So you have the crispy, fried, and actually boiled and then fried pork adobo. So now we're going to create the concoction, because this is actually ready to eat, but we're going to actually add the flavor. So you're just going to get a little bit of oil in a pan. You're going to get and cut roughly an onion, half an onion or 1/4 an onion is fine. Take out its stems. You just want the caramelization. Usually what I do, I like my onions rough chopped. They just add this caramelization. And then you take some garlic. I like to take 3 cloves of garlic. And what I do is I just press on the garlic. And I love garlic, so the garlic will just get in there and get dumped. And we give it a toss. I'm going to get my adobo in there. I just let it caramelize a little bit. I get the adobo in there. So simple. I get the soy sauce and I pour the soy sauce in. I get the vinegar, half cup vinegar, and I pour that in. I get the patis, which is the fish sauce, and you drop that in. Because mind you, I've gone through the boiling stage. It's ready to eat. I'm creating the caramelization of flavors that's going to bind it, because it came from boiled to crispy, and then it goes into stewed. So all these components actually yield into getting it dry. So I'm going to add the bay leaves. I like bay leaves. They add such a different dynamic. Usually if I have a tummy ache, I just put the bay leaves in water, and it's so herbal and therapeutic. It sets the tone. So voila. I just want to make sure that it's reducing in caramelization in front of me first before I close it. And while we're at that, I'm going to also take the adobo and just turn it over. Give it a good coat. The next step is to actually create the sauce separately that is to caramelize, and I'm going to add star anise. And star anise and soy for me are just perfect combinations. You add a little bit of brown sugar or coconut sugar and it takes it another level. So in a hot pan, you get some oil. The same principles of the adobo. So I'm just going to cut rough chop onion, just drop it in there, and the same procedure with the garlic. You just get 1 clove and you smash it with a knife. Good to go. And you just smash it like that, really rough. And what it does is when you smash it, it releases all
the garlic flavors, and it's so yum. So I just grab them and just drop them. About 1 cup of soy sauce, light soy sauce, fine dark soy sauce. So we're gonna let it just, we caramelize that. Add the soy. Add 4 pieces of star anise. A little bit of the vinegar. I just put maybe 2 teaspoons. And you let that cook down. So simple. And then you take brown sugar, maybe 2 tablespoons, and you just drop that in there. I'll add my 1-2 bay leaves. And you leave it there. While we're at it, we're gonna check on our adobo. This adobo is going through a cooking down process with the skin. Remember that it was crispy and now it's going down. Together with the onions, you'll find that the onions is caramelizing. And the sauce is reducing. The many things you do. I like my adobo savory, and the other one, I'm actually making it sweeter for. We're gonna open that. And if you look at this adobo that we have here, it's reducing and it is cooking through, and all the sauces is getting caramelized and cooked with this adobo. We are about 5 to 10 minutes away from finishing. What it is, it's already so soft. And we just close it up. While we're at that, we're going to create the composition for the yam. We're going to make the prezzemolo, which is made of parsley, lemon, and anchovies. And the anchovies you can find in the can in the grocery store. So you just drop maybe 3 cups of parsley. So to make the prezzemolo, it's something I learned from my husband's side of the family, which is his mom. And you know, with parsley, I always thought growing up it would be grass and always just an accessory on every meal. But this, after I tasted this, you want to do it too. So what it is, it's 3 cups of parsley chopped up roughly. And if you don't have a processor, you could use a soup blender. And also with the stem, you just throw it in there. So simple. And then you get maybe half a cup of olive oil. I used the whole can of anchovies, and these anchovies are, you know, so nice that it actually adds the saltiness and the zing. The next step, if I look through, take a look at my soy glaze with the sugar. It's caramelized and reduced. That this is where I want the consistency. And the next spot, I boiled down my ube. And this ube is going to create our. So I'm at this level, and I'm going to show you. And when it coats the back of the spoon, like that, and creates the line, you know you're ready to go. Let me taste that. Soy, caramel, aniseed. I taste bay leaf. We're there. Checking that. And of course it's like splattered all over, right? But remember that it's parsley based. Yep, that's exactly where I want to take it. And because I used the second division, I want to take it to this consistency right here. Like a paste. And this paste is what is going to go on top of our meat. And remind you, this paste is like herbaceous, got lemon, got the salt from the anchovies. I'm happy with that. So everything is recipe, and this recipe is paste and stock and caramelization, so I put that aside. So now let's check on this, which is our ube. So the ube is gone, and actually, and I'm just gonna break that so it's actually softens together in this water. And because it's hard, I want it to soften together. So I'm just gonna take it and just chop it, rough chop. And I want to just make like a nice gooey mash. Chop it in there. And now it's just you're just going to wait for it to reduce. Some seasoned salt. So while we have the sauteed ube, or the purple yam, that's gone through a process of reduction, and it's at this consistency right here, we're just gonna add half a cup of cream. All-purpose cream is fine. And while you get it to this consistency, you're gonna get a soup blender, and just like how you make mashed potatoes, it's going to go through a period of yield, whipped cream, and the purple yam. Make a purple paste, but this is not sweet, it's savory. So it's just gonna add to our presentation the flavor of our adobo. My grandmother has always taught me the purpose of root crops. And in the root crops, you could do sweet potato, purple, ube, and usually a lot of them make it matamis, which is sweet. And she always said, you know, it's always good to go with dishes. It's always, presentation is for the eyes. So this is the consistency of where we want to take it, to where you want to take it, to this consistency. And while we're in this method, I'm going to check on our adobo. Oh my goodness, this adobo is just glorious in every sense. I can smell the sweet, the soy caramelizing, and the softness gaining traction in this adobo. And really it's the adobo hubad, which is, I hear Cebu is quite known for the dry adobo. So because this is slow cooking, it's also very concentrated in its method. So I would say I give it 5 more minutes for it to relinquish in the flavors. And on this stage, let's go check on our pork belly.
It's going to be hot, and I'm expecting it to be hot. So let's give room for the top. Oh yes, exactly how and where we want it. Crispy, sizzling. Goodness. If you look at that, I'm just going to transfer to a plate. I can feel its heat, I can hear its cackle, and I can hear the sizzle. And this is where I'm going to take my first level of the dry adobo. But I've actually used pork belly because of the presentation. So it's good to sizzle. You see it's granular lines, crispy in the top. And then where I take that, I'm just gonna assemble right now. And I'm gonna take the adobo hubad, which is the adobo that's dry. And super caramelized. And now let's assemble it together. So take a look at the adobo hubad, which has softened and caramelized and gotten from the richness of the boil point to the frying point to the reduction. You are assured tender, loving mouthful of a bite. In front of me are actually two of the variations of the adobo, well, my version anyway. One is the old heirloom recipe of my grandmother, which is the dry adobo, which has gone through the boiling to the frying to the sauteing and then the reduction with the soy glaze. And one that's actually, for me, still an adobo, but the presentation just takes it to like an, you know, a newer version using the pork belly. So I'm serving large meals, and that's gonna go in, and like all else, we drizzle the caramelized adobo with anise and the bay leaves, because it's just so beautiful. And that stock will just sit. And when we're at this phase, it bastes, because it's pure caramelization and concentrated, it bastes this adobo. Why I call it my adobo. And I will just finish it with a quenelle. And we say quenelle because it's a purple yam. And I take dehydrated banana blossom. The prezzemolo that we created together that sits in little green droplets. But you see how the purple actually stands out? And voila, such a beauty. Such a beauty of my version of the adobo, which is the pork belly, gone through a unique caramelization of a soy adobo glaze. And then my grandmother's version, most likely so beautiful in the mouth. You will find that when you eat this, it has the crunchy texture, the harder bite, and this one is the melt in your mouth. And I take the adobo, on this beautiful paste. And it will sit. I'm gonna finesse like you're eating in a fine dining restaurant. Or seen adobo done that way. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've taken my grandmother's recipe, which is the heirloom adobo, and glorified it into this magnificent plate like art. And I've taken my version of an adobo stock sauce concentration into a family meal from the pork belly. Crispy on the outside. When you bite in, it should be chewy and nice on the bite. Just like that, 2 different variations. We're back and taking you back to time and to flavors, and then taking it where we are in the present and then elevating it to the future. So with heirloom recipes, I am so grateful for the past, but also we live in the present, but we need to take history with us. We need to take the heirloom recipes into where we are now, because that's what is comfort food. So I'm just gonna taste this beautiful adobo, and it should be, because we went through the process of boiling it, it should be cooked already when we fried it. But because we went through the process after the frying, it should be flaky. It should be highly concentrated in flavor, exactly and precisely how I find it. You've taken all the rind and all the goodness into one flavorful cut. I got the purple yam, I got my prezzemolo, cuts through. I can almost even say it, because of the combination, it no longer resembles an adobo. That's beautiful. I would do that again, and I suggest that you do it at home. So now we're gonna go in this pork belly, and we're gonna dissect it, because what I can find is we took it out in the first hour and a half. I would keep it longer for about another hour to get it, the crispiness and the softness of the meat. So much different, very, very, very different in variants of flavors. Very nice. I find this is sweeter, and the sauce, because we added aniseed, is so much more in depth. But both are equally the same. I would do it at home, and I would do this again, because if you can find, it's really dry, this adobo, but dry and flaky and flavorful and nice on the bite and crisp. And this one right here, because the fat and the yield of the fat on the meat has reduced, is crispy yet juicy, and of course sweeter. So 2 different variants of adobo. The old meets the present, and the present meets the new, and the new meets the future. But this is our life. This is how it ties all in. But I'd just like to say thank you for joining me. My name is Kate Dychangco-Anzani, and this is the adobo heirloom recipe.